Good afternoon. It is July 6th, 2021. And most of the day today looks like, yeah, most of the day was a downtrend. You can see the overnight highs, overnight lows here. Um, and it looks like we're attempting to test the overnight lows, and maybe even the opening price of these futures. I, I just want to point out, it looks like the importance of, I guess, just being present while prices are printing, because I was looking at this in the overnight and I was like, okay, this is probably going to be a low volume day with just a tight range, and that's not what we had. We had a I don't know about the volume, if this was low or not. It looks like there was plenty of volume, and because of that, there were plenty of setups. So yeah, the importance of just being present and watching these prices, because you can get setups. I think I saw everything in here. I kind of went through it kind of quickly, but I was watching prices pretty at a few times during the day. So we'll take a look here. Um, all this is just way too choppy, and I think this is like a 10-point range. 40, yeah, this is like a 10-point range. If you were watching at the open, they set up a nice trap, but uh, it looked like it was pretty good to go long if you wanted to. But this is clearly just a breakout of congestion, I would say. I don't know, like maybe even something like that. Yeah, that's probably. Well, I guess no, you would have to probably draw it like this. But this is clearly a breakout pullback. Um, It is a failed second entry short, so that's why I marked it, but that's an aggressive entry. And then we get this strong leg down. And yeah, people probably were going long here. A lot of people going long after this. Wait, let me see why I marked this. First entry. Okay, so this is a failed second entry long. So I guess I would understand why some people might be going short here after a leg down like that. That's clearly incredibly strong, and we only got, this is our first break of it. But this is very congestive, and we just broke out of the overnight lows. So I think with those two factors, we might be expecting another a push back to the overnight highs. Um, and this is congestive, overlapping bars. So don't go, and look how far it is from the EMA. Well, I guess that doesn't, that would, yeah, that's more reason to, yeah, expect it to pull back. So yeah, don't go short there. This, I feel like if I was watching this live, I might go long here, and it would have worked out, but that's, I can't mark that. It's not according to any rules. But anyway, we get, if you draw off these two, we get some confirmation right here, especially right here. And that's just the first entry, though. So we do get a first entry. Here, if you were watching this live, this right here, you can see we get a first entry, and this bar closes, and we gap up. So for me, even though it didn't break higher, with that gap up, that means that a lot of people are going long there. And so I looked at that as like a first entry, and this breaks higher. Even though it didn't break higher, I looked at that as like a second entry. So I'm going to keep that as an aggressive arrow, so green arrow. But I do like going short there. So I counted that as the first entry, and I also counted that as a first entry time going higher. So first entry, and I counted this as a failed second entry long off of what appears to be a trend line. So I marked that as red. We get a nice move down. We get a break of that short-term channel, but then we just move right into another downward channel. But I don't see any setups I like in there, even though it's a really nice, strong leg down. That looks like a measured move. And we go a little further. And here we just get a pullback. This is confirming our longer term trend channel right here, but it's just the first entry. But the reason I marked it is like it's 4 ticks. So I really like low risk off the EMA and the trend line. So I like that. And if I was watching live, I don't think I took that. Yeah, I didn't take that. If I was watching live, I would probably take that. Here we get a sharp leg down. This is an engulfing bar, and I think you would have gotten a scalp out of this, but I don't like it because it's, let's see, 49.50. What is that? 1950. I mean 1950 to, okay, so you would have gotten just the scalp. Everyone who scalped out here, just that's all they did. They just scalped out, and you can see that's why they bounced. And the reason I didn't like it is because that's off. What I'm looking at is probably the downward part of the channel. So going short there is very risky. But we get a first entry, second entry short, great signal bar. However, that is the first break, so you got to be a little cautious. But that's a very nice bearish bar to go short below. We are expecting a move down, and that's what we get. First entry, second entry, failed second entry long here. It's a little far from the EMA. That's why I'm marking it as aggressive. And we had a break, so we don't know when prices are going to slow down, but we have a feeling they might soon. But it is a failed second entry long, so I do like that. And it's an engulfing bar. I like that. I think I took that. Did I take that? No. Okay. So we get, looks like this was probably an overshoot on a different chart, because we get that overshoot that leads to a break. And one leg down, 2 legs down. But anyway, we get this. So this channel has broken, but that was a very strong move down. And for that reason, this move down. For that reason, I marked this as aggressive. It's 6 ticks. It looks like a really nice trap. So it's off the EMA, but it is high risk. And yeah, that's why I'm marking it as aggressive. So we get that second leg down, a very nice leg down, and you get a first entry, second entry. So what did I mark this for? I guess this is just a trap, and that's why I marked it. But first entry, second entry right here. So people might be looking at that as a failed second entry short, and that's why it sets up as a nice trap. And we get this, I'm looking at this as kind of like a triple bottom. The downward bias, if that exists. Whoa. Let's see. That's probably had this right here or something. That looks about right. But anyway, let me take a look at this. You know, we get the break of this steeper downward channel, and then we get a little channel that's a little flatter. Not sure if, I think this is pretty accurate, especially because we get these 1, 2, 3, 4 touches here. It's never really confirmed off the highs, but it looks like the midline kind of holds prices, and you can see once we don't make it down to the bottom, it gets really congestive here, and that leads to a break. So I do think this channel is valid. But anyway, we get this, I guess I would really look at this as like a quadruple bottom, and then it goes back up to the highs. First entry, second entry. So I do like this. We just don't know where the highs of this channel are. If you have your trend line drawn, the highs right here, and then you use the tool show measured moves, you would get this high here. So if you're not going short here, which you could, especially after this break, and move to a new high, you could definitely go short there, especially that low risk. But it is better practice to wait on a lower high, and you do get that right here. And I like that. Very bearish signal bar. And that turns out to be a great entry. And I think It's probably a quick scalp. 1775. Yeah, you would have scalped out very quickly there. And then that's a first entry, failed second entry long right here. It's aggressive. These are overlapping bars, so but look, I mean, we're still making lower highs, and here is a lower low, so something to think about. After this leg up, I guess maybe you would be a little hesitant. Yeah, you know, this is actually very aggressive, I think. It's tough to say, because these are overlapping. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are inside bars. I didn't see that. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna. I'll leave that, but I don't. Now, upon further review, not too crazy about that. So that's a first failed second entry, long first entry, failed second entry long off these highs. This, I really looked at this as like a double top right here. Boom, boom. So this is a first entry, but that's an engulfing bar, and it's a breakout pullback as well. So I marked that as aggressive. Again, we're in a downtrend day. First entry, so I looked at this as a failed second entry long, and the only reason I'm marking this confirms this trend line. Only reason I'm marking this as aggressive is because of how far away it is from the EMA. But I would have actually probably entered here, one tick beneath that bar, because look, we have room to these lows to scalp out. So I like that personally. But yeah, like I said, we didn't make it to the low of this channel, and it got a little congestive here. We get a first entry, failed second entry short. This looks like a trap, and that's why I marked it, and it's at these highs. So this is definitely aggressive, though. We don't know if prices are going to go back to the top of this channel. You know, they could make a move just like this. So that's why I'm marking that as aggressive. Super congestive here, so you can't take anything in that, but then we get a break and we start going up, and we move into this flatter long-term channel, and I don't think you can go long in any of this. This is too congestive, but then we get this from here. That's actually, this would be like a failed second entry short here off of this low. But what I was looking at was this. I looked at this as like, let's reset the count here, because that's a boom. That's like a double bottom. So we get a first entry, failed second entry short. But that's far from the EMA. I don't think I would. It's tough to say. I might take that. This looks like a spiking channel, mini spiking channel right here. So after the first break of that, you might go long here. But we get a good setup if you're just patient. First entry, second entry. Pretty low risk, 7-tick bar. I do like that entry. That's the only long entry I like all day. And it looks like we hit the top of that channel again. Got some resistance. So that's what I saw for today. Nice downtrend, easy to read. Yeah, and I'll be back tomorrow.